Today, I want to give you something special, a key perhaps, that unlocks the door to showing the world your very best side. It's a simple yet profound idea that has the power to change your life. You see, there was once a person, much like anyone here, who stared into the face of the impossible. Where others saw barriers, they saw a challenge. When told it can't be done, they simply replied, "Watch me." This wasn't a person of extraordinary means or abilities. No, their power came from something within, a steadfast belief in their ability to overcome, to achieve, to transcend the ordinary. This belief was the engine of their will, propelling them to achieve what was once thought impossible. Now pause for a moment and consider this. What could you achieve if you truly believed you were unstoppable? It's a thought-provoking question, isn't it? The power of belief is not just a motivational idea. It's a fundamental principle of success. It's the foundation upon which all great achievements are built. You see, belief in oneself is the catalyst for action, for pushing beyond the limits, for breaking through the barriers that confine us to the ordinary. But how, you might ask? Does one cultivate such belief? It begins with a single step, a decision to act, to move, to do something, no matter how small, towards your goal. It's in doing that we find out what we're capable of. It's through action that we begin to peel away the layers of doubt that have held us back. Let me share with you a simple truth, one that has guided me through my own journey. Success is not so much about the resources you have at your disposal, but about how resourceful you can be with what you have. The world is full of stories of men and women who, with very little to start with, built empires, created masterpieces, and led movements that changed the course of history. They weren't all geniuses or prodigies. No, but what they had was an unshakable belief in their purpose and in their ability to make it happen. So, I challenge you today to start small. Take that first step, however insignificant it may seem. Whether it's picking up a book on a subject you know nothing about, reaching out to someone who can teach you something new, or simply deciding to make a change in your daily routine, it all counts. Each small action is a testament to your belief in your ability to change, to grow, to succeed. Remember, the only person who can truly hold you back is you. Your beliefs, your thoughts, and your actions are the pen with which you write the story of your life. Make it a story worth telling, a story of courage, of resilience, and above all, of belief. So, I ask you again, what could you achieve if you truly believed you were unstoppable? Imagine the possibilities, embrace the potential, and start acting as if you truly are unstoppable. Because, my friends, the secret is you are. Now today, I want to talk to you about something that's fundamental to your journey toward success. Something that many overlook, but is the cornerstone of all achievements. It's understanding your worth. Recognizing your own value and potential is not just an exercise in feeling good about yourself. It's about acknowledging that within you lies the power to make significant changes, not only in your life, but in the lives of those around you. Consider for a moment the people who have made a difference in the world. What did they have that set them apart? It wasn't always intelligence, opportunity, or resources. No, it was their unwavering belief in their worth and their potential to contribute something unique. This belief wasn't born overnight. It was nurtured, challenged, and tested against the trials of their times. How does self-worth influence our actions and decisions? Well, think about it. When you truly understand your value, you make choices that reflect this belief. You pursue opportunities that match your inner worth, and you engage with the world in a way that says, I have something valuable to offer. This doesn't mean arrogance or an inflated sense of self. No, it's a quiet confidence, a sureness that comes from knowing your capabilities and your worth. Now, how do we cultivate this sense of value? Let's start with something practical. I encourage you to list your personal strengths and past successes. This isn't about bragging or inflating your ego. It's about acknowledging your achievements. no matter how small they may seem. Each success, each strength is a testament to your potential. It's proof that you have the ability to overcome challenges, to learn, to grow, and to succeed. As you make this list, ask yourself, how differently would I act if I saw myself as invaluable? Imagine the changes you'd make in your approach to new opportunities, the risks you'd be willing to take, and the challenges you'd face head on. Seeing yourself as invaluable doesn't just change your actions. It transforms your entire outlook on life. It turns obstacles into opportunities, failures into lessons, and dreams into goals. Let me share a story about someone who learned to recognize their worth. This person, much like anyone here, faced doubts and fears. They had been told directly and indirectly that they were too average to achieve anything. But instead of accepting this narrative, they began to list their strengths and past successes. They started small, acknowledging everyday achievements that they had previously taken for granted. Over time, this list grew, and so did their belief in their own worth. This belief didn't make challenges disappear. If anything, it brought more challenges as they pushed beyond their comfort zone. But with each challenge faced, their understanding of their worth grew stronger. They made decisions that reflected their value, pursued opportunities that scared them, and eventually achieved goals that once seemed impossible. This story is not unique. It's the story of anyone who has dared to believe in their worth and potential. It's potentially your story waiting to unfold. So as we continue this conversation, remember that understanding your worth is not a one-time event. It's a journey, one that involves constant reflection, resilience, and growth. Start by recognizing your strengths and past successes. Let them be the foundation upon which you build your belief in your value. In the end, understanding your worth is about seeing yourself as the architect of your destiny, capable of building a life of purpose, meaning, and success. It's about moving through the world with the conviction that you have something invaluable to offer, not just to yourself, but to everyone around you. And so I ask you again, how differently would you act if you saw yourself as invaluable? Let that question guide your actions, your decisions, and your journey towards realizing your true potential. Remember, you are invaluable, and it's time the world sees what you have to offer. I'm here to guide you toward understanding the profound impact discipline and consistency have on achieving greatness. Imagine for a moment a world where your dreams are not just distant wishes, but tangible realities. This world is not built on the whims of chance, but on the solid ground of daily discipline and unwavering consistency. Let me share with you a story. A simple yet profound illustration of the power these principles hold. There was once a person not unlike yourself who dreamed of achieving something considered beyond their reach. This dream seemed as distant as the stars in the night sky. Yet what set them apart wasn't an extraordinary talent or a stroke of luck, but their commitment to discipline and consistency. Every day, without fail, they devoted time to hone their skills, refine their craft, and inch closer to their dream. Through storms and sunshine, their resolve never wavered. And in time, the impossible began to take shape, molded by the hands of discipline and polished by the sheen of consistency. Now, let's talk about discipline. It's often misunderstood as a form of punishment or deprivation. But let me offer you a different perspective. Discipline is the highest form of self-love. It's saying to yourself, I value my dreams and goals enough to work towards them every single day. It's the bridge between wanting and achieving, between dreams and reality. Consistency, its faithful companion, is what transforms average into excellence. It's not about grand gestures, but the small daily actions that compound over time into extraordinary results. Consistency is the key to being unstoppable. It ensures that your journey towards greatness doesn't end in a sprint, but continues in a marathon paced by perseverance and resilience. Now, you might wonder, what discipline, if practiced daily, could put me on the path to being unstoppable? The answer is simpler than you might think. It's the discipline of reflection and planning. Each day, take a moment to reflect on your actions and their alignment with your goals. Then, plan your next steps. This simple practice, repeated daily, can profoundly change the trajectory of your life. It keeps you focused, learning, and adapting, ensuring that each day is a step closer to where you want to be. Imagine starting each day with clarity and purpose, knowing exactly what needs to be done and having the discipline to do it. Picture ending each day with a sense of accomplishment, no matter how small, knowing that you're one step closer to your dreams. This is the power, discipline, and consistency at work. Remember, the journey to greatness is a mosaic of thousands of small daily actions. It's in the quiet moments of determination, in the choices that no one sees, that the foundations of success are laid. Your dreams are not just figments of your imagination, but possibilities waiting to be realized through discipline and consistency. So as we move forward, let's commit to embodying these principles in our daily lives. Let's choose discipline over regret, consistency over inconsistency. Together, let's build a path to greatness paved with the small but mighty steps of our daily actions. Because in the end, it's not just about achieving our dreams, but about becoming the person who is capable of achieving them. And that, my friends, is the true measure of success. In our journey through life, fear and doubt are as inevitable as the rising and setting of the sun. Yet, it's not the presence of these emotions that defines us. It's how we confront them. I want to share with you a story about overcoming fear, about turning those fears into the fuel that propels us forward. There was once a person, much like anyone here, who dreamed of achieving great things. This person, however, was shackled by their fears, haunted by the what-ifs and the buts that linger in the shadows of ambition. What if I fail? But what if I'm not good enough? These questions were constant companions, whispering doubts at every turn. But here's where the story takes a turn. This person decided to face their fears head on, to look into the eyes of doubt and say, "You will not control me." It wasn't an easy battle. It required discipline, consistency, and an unwavering belief in their potential. They started small, taking on challenges they'd previously avoided, stepping out of their comfort zone 1 inch at a time. With each step, they found their fears losing their grip, their doubts fading into the background. Now imagine for a moment, what fears would you conquer if you knew you couldn't fail? Think about that. The power to overcome fear begins with the decision to face it, to understand that failure is not the opposite of success, but a part of its process. Here's something practical, something actionable for you to take away today. Start by identifying one fear that's holding you back, just one. Then commit to facing it bit by bit every day. It could be the fear of public speaking, perhaps, or the fear of starting a new venture. Whatever it is, challenge yourself to take small steps toward conquering that fear. Remember, it's not about eradicating fear entirely. It's about learning to move forward despite it. In my own life, I've had moments where fear seemed insurmountable. There was a time when the thought of standing before an audience, sharing my thoughts and experiences, filled me with dread. But I realized that my fear of public speaking was also holding me back from sharing valuable lessons, from making a difference in the lives of others. So I started small, speaking to smaller groups, embracing the nerves and the excitement. With time and practice, the fear never completely vanished, but it transformed into a kind of energy, a fuel that drives me. So, what's the key takeaway? It's that fear and doubt, while universal experiences, don't have to be obstacles. They can be catalysts for growth, for pushing us to achieve more than we ever thought possible. It's in facing our fears that we uncover our true strength, our resilience, and our capacity for greatness. As we navigate through life, let's remember that overcoming fear and doubt starts with a belief in our ability to face them. It requires discipline to act despite our fears and consistency in pushing ourselves a little further each day. And when we look back, we'll see not just the fears we've conquered, but the incredible journey of growth they've spurred us on. Let's embrace our fears, not as enemies, but as teachers, guiding us toward becoming the unstoppable forces we're meant to be. And so I ask you again, what fears would you conquer if you knew you couldn't fail? Let that question be your guiding light, leading you to actions, decisions, and ultimately, a life where you're defined not by your fears, but by how you've risen above them. In our journey through life, we encounter a myriad of challenges. Some appear as towering walls, casting long shadows over our ambitions and dreams. Yet it is within these moments, when obstacles loom largest, that the seeds of our greatest growth are sown. Imagine for a moment standing before a hurdle that seems insurmountable. Now consider the possibility that this very challenge could be the making of you. Consider the story of a young entrepreneur faced with failure after failure, each one more disheartening than the last. To many, this would mark the end of the road, but not for this individual. With each setback, a lesson was learned, resilience was built, and a new path was forged. This entrepreneur went on to achieve tremendous success, not in spite of these challenges, but because of them. The hurdles encountered weren't just obstacles. They were stepping stones, each one an opportunity for growth and learning. Now, pose a thought-provoking question to you. How can your current challenges be seen as stepping stones rather than stumbling blocks? This question isn't merely rhetorical. It's an invitation to shift your perspective, to view each challenge not as a barrier, but as a chance to expand your capabilities and discover your potential. Developing resilience is akin to strengthening a muscle. It requires consistent effort, a discipline of the mind. One effective strategy is the daily practice of reflection and adaptation. Each evening, take a moment to reflect on the day's challenges. Ask yourself, what have I learned? How can I adapt my approach for a better outcome? This habit not only fosters resilience, but also turns the process of overcoming challenges into a routine part of your growth. Another key strategy is to embrace a mindset of flexibility. In a world that is constantly changing, the ability to adapt is invaluable. Consider the bamboo bends with the wind but doesn't break. By adopting a similar flexibility in facing life's challenges, you equip yourself with the ability to withstand even the strongest storms without breaking. So, let me encourage you to view each challenge as an opportunity, each failure as a lesson, and each day as a step on your journey to becoming unstoppable. The path to greatness is paved with obstacles, but it's how we choose to navigate these obstacles that defines our journey. In closing, remember that resilience is not an innate trait, but a skill that can be developed. It's forged in the fire of adversity and tempered by the resolve to persevere. Your challenges, viewed through the lens of growth and opportunity, are not just hurdles to overcome. They are the very experiences that will shape you into the strongest version of yourself. As you continue on your path, keep these words in mind. The greatest growth comes from embracing challenges, learning from them, and using them as stepping stones to achieve your highest potential. The question isn't whether challenges will arise, but how you will choose to respond when they do. With resilience, determination, and a perspective shift, there is no limit to what you can achieve. In our lives, the people we choose to surround ourselves with hold an incredible power, a power that can sway us in directions we never imagined. It's like standing in a garden. The people in our lives are the flowers or the weeds, and it's up to us to decide who we let flourish in our personal space. Have you ever noticed how being around certain individuals can make you feel more alive, more capable, as if suddenly the word impossible has vanished from your dictionary? Let me tell you about a friend of mine, someone much like you and me. This friend found themselves at a crossroads, surrounded by voices that whispered of doubt and limitation. But one day, they made a choice to cultivate their garden with care. They sought out those rare individuals whose very presence is like sunlight, encouraging growth and inspiring dreams. This friend who once doubted their path began to change. They became unstoppable, not because the challenges ceased, but because they had a legion of supporters who believed in them when they forgot to believe in themselves. Now pause for a moment and ask yourself, who in my life makes me feel most unstoppable, and why? It's a question that invites reflection, isn't it? The truth is, we all need those bright souls in our lives. The ones who remind us of our worth when we falter, who stand as beacons of possibility when the night falls around our aspirations. But how do we attract these powerful influences into our lives? It begins with who we are, with being someone who uplifts others. Like attracts like after all. Be the sunlight for others, and you'll find yourself surrounded by a garden of positivity. And remember, this isn't about finding people who only tell you what you want to hear. It's about finding those rare individuals who challenge you, who push you towards your potential because they see the seeds of greatness within you, even when you're in doubt. Here's a call to action for you. Assess your current circle. Look around and see who's watering your dreams and who's pulling at your roots. It might be time for some weeding, or perhaps it's time to plant new seeds in the form of relationships that empower and inspire. Cultivating this garden doesn't happen overnight, but with patience and intention, you'll find your space blooming with positivity and support. So as you walk away from this conversation, carry with you the understanding that you are the gardener of your own life. You have the power to cultivate a circle of influence that lifts you towards your dreams. Surround yourself with those who see the limitless sky above you, even when you see the unyielding ground. Because, my friends, when you do, there's no telling how high you'll soar.